I'd like to thank Mr. Brian Murphy, who's a representative from our publishing company, Sadler. We use a lot of his workbooks and textbooks this series in our school. And right now, over the past 26 years, he has worked in Catholic, private, and public education, including as a teacher, assistant principal, and in the collegiate level, teaching at St. Joseph's University and Newman University. The National School Boards Association named him one of the 20 to watch educators for his work in instructional technology, and the Pennsylvania Association for Educational Communication and Technology named him the CTO, which is the Chief Technology Officer, for the year for that state, the state of Pennsylvania in 2018. Mr. San Francesco has been featured in Tech and Learning, Schools ICO, EdTech Magazine, Catechetical Leader, and he presents at local, regional, and national convocations. It is my privilege to welcome Mr. Paul San Francesco to our school.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. So, I'm going to turn on. Right, can you? Okay. So, a little more information about myself. I used to be the Director of Technology for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia for all the schools in the Archdiocese. We had about, when I was there, over 100,000 students. We had about 300 plus schools in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, and I had a staff of one. It was me. So we did all the Archdiocese schools in Philadelphia region. I'm a product of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. I was taught in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. My wife is an assistant principal in a high school. From my children, I have 3 children, 18, 18, and 16. 2 seniors and a sophomore. So my professional life is technology. My personal life is technology. My kids keep me insane when it comes to that. They're both attending college next year. My son is going to University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, and my daughter's going to West Virginia. So they're not coming anywhere near Philadelphia, which is great because I like to travel. I like coming by. The last thing in there, creating saints online. You're going to hear a lot of things today. You may walk out of here fearful today. Overwhelmed. Some of you are like, you know what? I'm doing the right things. I'm good. I have the knowledge. But we always concentrate on the negative with social media and things like that. There are a lot of positives, and we're going to go through them today also. The next wave of saints in the future is going to have a huge piece of technology and canonization. They're going to be a TikTok person, a YouTube person, a Twitter, a Facebook, something with evangelization and our Catholic faith. Doing something great with technology is going to be the next wave of saints. If you think about your favorite saint, if you really dig deep, you'll find a communications piece in that saint's canonization. And technology is a huge factor in that coming up. So yes, there's some fearful things. But if used correctly in the Catholic faith, this is a powerful tool that just has to be monitored. And how we do that depends on how you parent. I also do not judge on parenting style. What I'm doing today is giving you information that fits into your parenting style. Every one of us parents differently. But every one of us in this room is rooted in our Catholic faith. How you do that is entirely up to you. We knew growing up the houses we can get away with, the friends that we went to, we always went to their house because we could get away because their parents maybe weren't as strict as our parents. Maybe that was your house. It's different. Today, it's not houses, we can be anywhere now and do this. So we really have to focus on what can we do with this device. And community is about connection. Our kids want to stay connected 24/7 sometimes. As a parish, you stay connected. Is anybody from the Philadelphia region in here? Sometimes there's one or two or whatever. Good, now. Philadelphia, if you meet anybody from Philadelphia, you don't say what town you're from. You say, what parish are you from? Even if you're Jewish, you know what parish you were supposed to go to if you were Catholic. It's just that region. And in technology, when people move out of the area or whatever, Facebook groups, websites, social media, has kept those parishes that even have closed in Philadelphia alive with the community online. With our kids, they're constantly want to get connected. And you're going to have some questions today. When do I give my child a cell phone? When do I do this? When do I do that? I always tell my kids, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 30. They're like, they didn't have cell phones back then. That was irrelevant. But we know some 30-year-olds today that can't handle the cell phone. I know some 12-year-olds that can. But again, it's that maturity, it's that trust, it's that balance of how we use it and how they are using it. I always like to start off with some data. Some people are very data-driven. Okay? I like to use pre-pandemic data too, because the pandemic has skewed technology data. Because everybody had to have a device. Everybody was home. Everybody was online. But now as we hopefully shift out of this back to some kind of new normal, the data should shift. So if you look at the age among 8-year-olds, 1 in 5 in 2019 had a cell phone. 1 in 5 8-year-olds had some kind of device. All right? Younger and younger. Where do people get their information? Where do people get their news from? Okay, again, in 2020, 87% of Americans got something from online. I mean, think about it. When you hear about something, we automatically go to our device and research it immediately. We do that, but that's not how most of us grew up. We got it from TV or a newspaper or a magazine, and then we went online. Today, our kids immediately jump online to get any information, even if it's true or not. We have to teach our children to vet information that they're putting online. And we're going to talk about fake news in the sense of this area and how do we control what goes up and what goes down. Because we find in schools and houses and things like that. You got iPads, you got Chromebooks, laptops for students, teachers. I mean, it's all around. Bring your own device. You got Google Glasses. All the VR things right now, that's amazing. Wearable technology. Who would have thought that iWatch and things like that would be accessible to kids at a younger and younger age? We all know Google Classroom, learning management systems, Canvas. We all have to survive becoming teachers at our houses with this technology. PCs. You put a kindergarten student in front of a PC, what's the first thing they do? They touch the screen. It's broken! Mr. Sanfran, this is broken. They pick up the mouse and they use the red light and blind themselves. They don't know how to use a PC at all. They're used to touch technology. And then we like to block everything. Yes, you block the main sites. Okay, here at school, you have to follow the Archdiocese of Miami. There's laws, things, we block things, that's fine. I went to Catholic school. I was taught by a lot of the sisters of St. Joseph, Immaculate Heart of Mary sisters, whatever. When sisters said no, the answer was no. There was no reason that sister gave me. All the answers no, sit down. Okay, thank you, sister. When we block things at home, you may have a filter on your internet. You may filter your child's device. By saying no is not enough today. And here's the reason why when it comes to technology. When sister said no, the answer was no, and that's it. There was no ever questioning sister, because that's it. But when we say no to a website and block it, and we don't give the reason, they're going to that friend's house we talked before, that it's open, accessible, and ready. They're going in their pocket and going on that site around your site blocking, or around whatever. We need to do a better job of explaining why we block things. Because they don't understand. Johnny can do it, Susie can do it, everybody can do it. I walk outside, they're doing it, but my parents said no, because they're mean. No, this goes against our faith. This goes against something the family doesn't believe in. You're not ready for this content, and here's why. We need to do a better job explaining why we block things. I block it because I want to, because I can. Great, that's an answer. Because they're seeing more and more content than we've ever seen in our lives at a younger and younger age. And they don't understand that content. So we need to explain why we're blocking that content. Because they're just Googling it. They're on YouTube. They're getting it sent from their friends in a TikTok. And it's blocked at your house, but they'll go off your network, and all of a sudden I'm on. I don't want you to do that. Or they're at a friend's house, and they're watching it. I'm not allowed to watch it. This is why. Just blocking it doesn't do enough. And at school, we do the same thing. And when they get around your site blocking software, or they get around the network, we have to explain it like this. Would you break into someone's house because you wanted to get into that house? Well, no, I wouldn't smash that window and walk here because I wanted something. Cyber crime is the same thing. We just have to relate it to something physical. Oh, this is easy. I can get around that site blocking software. You just broke in to that site illegally because your parents didn't want you to be there, or we blocked it for a reason. Same thing. Oh, no one ever catches us. Well, they are. And we just have to go a little deeper with them in conversation. I don't have 48 friends in my entire life, okay? This is an average 13. Now, Fortnite, put in Roblox, put in all those games they play today. I mean, they're spending hours on these games. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Depends how they're using it. But think how much influence our kids have outside of our family. 483, 672, 100 snaps a day. A day. Now, most of it is of their feet, right? They have a thing called streaks on Snapchat. If you don't know Snapchat, and we'll go over Snapchat a little, you cannot leave someone open. What that means is if you open their Snap, you have to snap back. And you watch them. They're like, hold on. Let me take their feet. They're taking their hand. They're like, what are you doing? I can't leave mine open. I can't leave mine. And they freak out because they have to. They get a little flame. It's called streaks. You don't want to be the one to break the streak or leave that person unopened. It's crazy. But that's just what they do. Where do your children get information about their faith? Here is a great start. You send your child to a Catholic school for a reason. Hopefully home, that you reinforce it. Hopefully at church on Sunday, which a lot of them do not go. Okay? But that's the only sometimes place that our children are hearing about their faith. What are the influences in their life? Well, if you look at this, are those followers faith-based? Or do they go against what we believe in faith? And we're seeing that as a lot. So I'm going to put this screen up. Now please, 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 please. I am not telling you to follow any of these people. Do not leave this presentation. This is the only thing you got out of this. With a show of hands, do you at least know one of these followers up there? Don't be shy. We know a lot of you thought do perfect. That's kind of an easy one. If you show this to your kids, hey, why not this one yet? Some of them are horrible. These are influencers. These are YouTube channels, TikTok channels, Instagram accounts that our kids just follow. Look how many followers. 108 million people. This is their job. They get paid to be influencers online. Dude Perfect is 54 million people. Subscribe to that. Now this is subscribing. So people watch them and don't subscribe to these channels. So they're getting hits more and more. But people that actually get notifications and follow are the numbers you see there. The number of views that people that don't follow them are even better. I mean, it's just millions and millions of people. Anybody know any of these influencers? Yes. Yes, we got one? Yes. Which one do you know? The Pope is the last one. He's got a minimal amount of 8.4 million followers. Think about that. That's it. I know the Pope. I know. It's growing. Pope has Instagram. Pope has Snap. Pope has Facebook. Pope has Twitter. And he's getting a TikTok channel. Okay? He's getting TikTok. It's going to be great. The rest of them, there's more than that, but I just put a couple up there to start. Do our kids follow any Catholic influencers on their feed? And usually the answer is no. I made my children follow the Pope on Instagram. They hated me for it. Well, why? Because when they're scrolling aimlessly in the car while you're trying to talk to them and they don't talk to you, and they sit there and they're just double tapping and liking everything, I wanted them to see something about their faith as they scroll. And that's the thing. We need to get more influencers because they're consuming more content than they do in this school online. That 100 snaps a day, that gaming, the scrolling. Are they seeing anything about being Catholic? They're seeing a lot of things to do anti-Catholic, I can tell you that, with a lot of those people. But these people need to have a following also. I encourage them to use hashtags. Thank you, God. You know, take a picture of your dog. Use the hashtag thanks God. Why would I do that? Why wouldn't you? Why would you be proud about with your faith online? encourage that behavior. Pope Francis came to Philadelphia a couple years ago to do the World Families and Meetings. He stopped to every kid he could stop with and took a selfie with. It was insane. Now his handlers behind him hated it because they couldn't control him. He didn't care. He knew taking that selfie goes on social media. Connect with the youth. Reshare it, post it, repost it. Connection. Now, Pope John Paul II came to Philadelphia in 1981, and my parents made me spend 5 hours on a street corner with tons of people in the summer to watch the Pope Mobile drive by at 90 miles an hour. My parents are 80. They still talk about today how it was the greatest moment in our Catholic faith that the Pope was right there. We saw them. Like, this guy's taking selfies. Bishops, archbishops, they understand the power of connecting with technology and using those pictures to make sure it's shared and reshared on family Facebooks, on Twitter, and things like that. It needs to be present more online. This is the Archbishop of Arlington, Virginia. He was my religion teacher in high school. And he has this game he plays. He goes to schools and gets his hat. He says, if this hat fits your head, you have to think about being a priest or vocation. I'm like, Bishop, your head's huge. It's going to fit on every one of these kids' head. You're messing around with these kids, and it kicks me out of the room. It's amazing. But he also understands that connection that, oh God, my child's with the Archbishop and put his hat on, and the whole thing. It's that connection. It's not going to Mass and leaving. It's that personal connection. And how many moments do we see in our school right here that our kids do this? Yeah, academically we want them to be awesome. Yeah, this we want to be awesome. But we also want to be humans and Catholic where they share moments of, the comment is everyone needs a little help every once in a while. This is who we want our kids to be. Helpful. You need shoe tie, whatever. I'll help you out. This was our virtual field trips, correct? You didn't Google anything. You got the Viewmaster out and you saw the Vatican. Great. This was Atari. Some of you have no idea what this is. This was the first game console system. Yes, I'm showing my age. That's fine. Okay. When I show this to students and they say, Mr. Sanford, what's BW? BW switched if you have black and white TV or color TV. And they're like, how old are you? Seriously? Black and white television? Yes, they still existed when I was young in this console. That's fine. You played Oregon Trail back in the day. This was the only technology we had. Some of you played Where in the World Was Carmen Sandiego. Some of you played Sim City. That was our technology. That was our games in school. When I show a kindergarten student this slide, they cannot identify any of these things. None. None. But when I show them this slide, they can identify over 80% of the apps that are up here. What I'd like you to do right now is talk to your neighbor. Do not use your devices. How many apps can you identify up here? Go.
No, sono 4 ore. Que venga el verano.
Okay. Start with a low number. How many got at least half? Half, 50%. 50%. All right, let's go 75. 75? Good? Anybody get them all? 100%. Yeah. Okay. Let's go through them. First one is Fortnite, the #1 game in the world. And it's not just, you think boys dominate that game, girls dominate that game. Adults dominate that game. I mean, it is, someone's like, oh, it's a killing game. Okay, think of Fortnite as Super Mario Brothers back in the day. There's no gory stuff like Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty, these games that are very violent and very bloody and have a rating on them. Fortnite, you go, you go through these worlds, fine, you shoot the person, but you come alive. There's no blood, there's no this, there's no that. Okay? If you're not into shooting, then that's fine. Asteroids, Space Invaders, Mario Brothers, same concept, new level. It's fine to an extent, how much they're playing it, who they're playing. They can play random people, and they can chat, and they can have conversations with strangers. That's the issue with these games today. Roblox is the same way. Rocket League is the same way. The next game, Minecraft, they're still playing. Same kind of deal. It's great. Build worlds. In Philadelphia, we built 2 brand new elementary schools. We let the students design their model school in Minecraft, and we took the 2 best designs, gave them to the architect, and let them put a piece of what they built into the school. I mean, talk about engineering, talk about STEM, talk about things like that. You can use that for that. Among Us is the next one. Again, I don't get that game. I don't get it. But Roblox is the big one. And Roblox has a feature where they're just talking to anyone. Make sure if they're on these games, they're only in a closed environment with people they know. Or they're playing, and if you allow them to play with anybody, they're not giving information about themselves out. Their screen name should be something ridiculous that doesn't identify them at all. It should not be Kelly Smith. It should be something, ridiculous that no one can figure out who they are. And that's the problem. A lot of them are just using their screen names, their school name, what they like. Cheerleader 42. Oh, you like cheerleading. And that's how people get connections. Because you gotta remember, with these games, competition is a big thing. I want to beat you. So I find Brian Murphy, who lives in West Palm Beach. Great, connect with Brian. And I beat Brian. And Brian gets on. I see he's on again. I live in Philadelphia. He lives in Palm Beach. Doesn't matter, right? He makes a connection. I keep going. And we do a chat room. Build that relationship. And then all of a sudden, hey, I'm from Florida. Oh, yeah, I'm from Philadelphia. Okay. He's not really from Florida. He's from my area. You know, it's that whole thing. Our kids build that trust and they think they're okay. When I talk to them, I always talk about stranger danger. They know physically what to do with stranger danger. They know it. Run, kick the person, get an adult, go away, don't take the whole thing. But when we talk virtual, well, they're not there. Well, no, they are there. It's the same thing. But since they're physically not present, there's more trust and comfort because I'm sitting in my house or I'm on my device. And that's the issue. Same concept, but it doesn't. We just have to make sure those things are in the games before we let them play total strangers. Now, I also do this thing with them where I give them my phone, and I'll do it right now. It's great. Can you text that person hello? Just text that person hello. Just hello. Okay. Did I text that person?
No.
What was your name? I'm sorry.
Laura.
Laura did. Does Brian know? That's who I texted. Does Brian know that it was not me? No, he thinks it's me. It's my contact. I came up. There it is. I always tell kids, you cannot 100% trust who's on the other end of any device, unless you're on FaceTime. Because she didn't steal my device, but she got my device, she did it, and that's it. They have to understand that. Netflix, they stream everything. Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever streaming service you have. Peacock, there's so many of them out there. When I had to watch TV, if I missed the show, I had to wait for the rerun. And if I missed the rerun, I had to wait until the summer so they replayed all the stuff, and then if I missed it, it was done. They're on demanding everything. They're not missing anything. The other thing is the content of what's on these streaming services are crazy. So yeah, you want them to watch Peppa Pig or whatever, and then you leave the room and it's over, and all of a sudden there's a horror movie on because it's just they have access to all that content. You have to watch when we give them the Netflix password or even the Disney Plus password or whatever to see what they're viewing. You can lock that down. You know, Squid Games was out at the beginning of the year, if you watch that. And Halloween came, and they came in costumes of Squid Games to our Catholic schools. I should be watching Squid Games. I can't handle it. But anyway. But our kids don't get that concept. But there they are in the costumes. And then the other kids are saying, what are you? Well, I'm a Squid Game character. I'm the square. They go home to Netflix. What do? I want to watch Squid Games because little Joey was dressed up as a Squid Games character. Now you see the progression of what content they're watching. Younger and younger, we have to explain what that content means. They FaceTime everybody. Everybody FaceTimes. When is the cell phone companies going to understand that kids don't need phone? They need just internet. They don't. We call. Did you ever see a kid on a phone?
No.
You call them, right? They do this. Well, my kids talk to their grandparents on the phone, and they're sitting there going like this. I'm like, they can't see you. You have to use your voice. And they hold the phone like here, or like this, and then I put it on speaker. I'm like, what are you doing? And there's no hello or goodbye. It just ends the conversation. It's like, here. Did you say goodbye? Did you save? It drives me crazy. They don't use the telephone. They FaceTime because when they FaceTime, they know the conversation's over. They just end it. This whole generation, I can't. But that's the difference. You know, they don't have that Especially now coming out of the pandemic, there's no phone conversation. It's all FaceTime and video conferencing and things like that. WhatsApp, texting app, it's a great app. It connects all kinds of devices together, usually used internationally. The next row is our social media row, our Instagram is the first one. So when I talk to the children, anybody know the age legally that those platforms allow kids to be on? 13. 13 or older without parent permission. You need parent permission if you're 13 or younger. Okay? And I challenge them when I talk to them today. If you're on these sites without your parent permission, you're on it illegally, but you're also breaking a commandment. You're lying about your age to be on these apps. So you're not just breaking the law of criminal law. You're breaking our faith, our commandments. You're lying. Yeah, you're not going to get caught unless something goes wrong, but God knows. God's always here. And that's the kind of things we need to put in place with that. Just because no one's watching doesn't mean someone isn't watching, especially on technology, but we'll get into that later. Instagram now, if you are dabbling into getting your children on social media, Instagram is the better one for parent oversight. I'm not saying content, I'm saying control. Because what you need to do is create your own Instagram account, your personal one. Have your child log into that too. So if you're in Instagram, you click on your name and it says add account. You have your child add your account to that Instagram. So you are physically that child. You can toggle between I have all my kids on my phone. As you know, my kids are 18. My daughter to this day says, I can't believe Instagram took that picture down that was on my site. I didn't like that one. She said, Dad, another one disappeared. I don't know what happened. Because when she was 12 and got Instagram, she forgot. She logged into I made her do that. Now she's 18. But you can read all their DMs. You can be them. I know parents sometimes like to follow them. Well, you're only seeing what they post. You're not seeing the direct messages. You're not seeing the content of who they're following. You're not seeing all of you. Now again, as a parent, how crazy do you want to be? Exactly, that's me. Some are like, I trust my kid, I just want to follow them. Some are like, and that's fine. But I like to give you the information that you can do that. And Instagram is very good where you can log in as them and just toggle it back and forth. You know, the fear of them, you checking the account is a good thing. Now I know another tactic is random checks. So you don't want to follow, you're like, I don't know Instagram, I don't want Instagram. The guy's crazy, I don't want any social media on my phone. Fine. Child's sitting there, pull up a chair right next to him, let's go. Let's go through your phone right now. Show me your Instagram. And you sit there. I'm like, oh, no, don't delete anything. You go in, can that child do it? Snapchat is awful for parent oversight. Because you can log into Snapchat, but everything disappears. Soon as you click on their snaps and their story, it disappears. So if you open up their snaps, remember what I said at the beginning. Oh my God, you left them unopened? You left them open? I'm now in trouble because I left them open. So they know, they can see that it's open. You can't close it again, you can't do it, and they can't view it again because you get one chance to view it. The stories at the top, you get to view for 24 hours. The snaps, only one time. That's why it's almost impossible to monitor Snapchat as a parent unless you physically sit next to them and go through. Now, you can go through everything, They just miss the content and they'll never see it again. That's why they love Snapchat. Now, Snap and Instagram keep all their snaps and stories and posts for 9 months. So if something does legally go wrong and someone gets a police and court subpoena, all their snaps are back, all their DMs are back, all their stories are back. What usually happens is after 9 months, think about how many snaps they don't have the storage capacity. So they don't care. They can say we don't keep them at all, but they keep it 9 months.
And you can't screenshot it, correct?
So you can screenshot it, but the person gets the notification that you screenshot it.
Oh, great.
So if you screenshot a Snapchat,
Right, but that doesn't happen.
that person gets a notification that you screenshotted their stuff. As a parent, here's what to do. Get your phone and take a video or a picture of it. This way they don't know. Okay? They don't know.
Instagram is also very the same thing, 1 minute.
Yes, Instagram has that in their story piece of it. But you can see it again, but they do have that.
I think I created a new profile of friends, so that you can change it.
You can change it, yep. Snapchat, and there's another feature of Snapchat with Snap Maps that we'll go over in a second. It's even scarier. TikTok is the most mindless app you can find. Okay? I'm on it for hours. Okay? My wife will walk in the room and say, well, you're gone for 2 hours. No conversation, and she'll just walk out. It's crazy. Anybody else? No, you don't tell me. There's some really creative content on TikTok, and there's some really stupid content on TikTok. You know, it's just, and they're making TikTok videos. They're making TikTok videos in kindergarten, whatever. The nice thing about TikTok is they know the songs we grew up with. So all songs, like September by Earth, Wind & Fire is a very popular one right now on TikTok that they're all listening to. It's like, oh, that's a great song. Yeah, it is a great song, Dad. I've been telling you that for years. They're getting influenced though on TikTok, and you know, it's just who they're following. You know, that's the biggest thing. Find out who they're following and what they're searching on TikTok. Twitter, 142 characters. They're not really on Twitter. Facebook is for old people. They are not on Facebook. The only reason on the Facebook is to stalk us or get connected to see what your grandparents are doing. That's it. They are not on Facebook. But we are on Facebook. And the problem with Facebook right now is how adults are talking and treating each other on Facebook. They're called keyboard warriors. All right? I'm gonna break it to you. You are not going to convince anybody to change their mind on Facebook. Okay? So don't get into Facebook fights. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but when I was, I would unfriend my cousins, physically drive to their house, yell at them, and drive home. Because they're getting into fights with people that went to kindergarten on political beliefs, on religious beliefs, on this and that, where our kids are seeing how we're treating people on Facebook. Because when you get off of that fight, you vent. I can't believe so-and-so did this. And we're showing them that behavior is okay. We've lost the art of debating. We've lost the art of respecting the person but disagreeing what they say. It's, you don't believe what I believe, I hate you. Like immediately. Instead of saying, no, I play tennis with that person, I like playing basketball with that person, I like having a conversation with that person, I'm not going to talk about this, and this with that person. Or you know what, when we do, we have a healthy argument, but at the end of the day, we can go have a beer. Now, they're evil. It's crazy. But our kids are seeing that behavior, and we're seeing it on group text messaging. Our kids are putting ourselves in group text, and they're going after people. Well, I don't like this person. Let's all gang up on this person because they didn't want to go where we wanted to go. Let's go after them. Where did they learn that from? Facebook. Us. The behavior. Weed out those people. You know? Show our kids we can disagree with somebody and still like the person. And the word bullying is overused. Okay? There are just mean people. People are just mean. Doesn't mean they're a bully. The definition of a bully or a cyberbully is physically or technology seeking you out constantly. I am going after you and I'm finding you. I'm going to constantly berate you. Constantly. Being mean is not a bully. Those are just mean. Stay away from them. You're just not nice people. We need to teach our students the difference between them. They immediately say bully. Oh, they're bully. No, you're going to have to deal with people that aren't just nice. That's just how they are. Stay away from them or just say hello. Don't engage in conversation because they're just mean. Now, if that mean person keeps going after you and finds you in the parking lot, trips you, and then texts you, and then gets their friends to do it, and that's a bully behavior. So I went to Catholic school, and back in the day, we were lined up by height. Maid procession, communion, confirmation. Sisters like symmetry. Me and PJ Gattoni were always the first from first grade to eighth grade because we were the shortest kids in the class. And then everybody, and they would sit there, we just line up. But my parents taught me, because I was, I was going to get bullied. That was just it. Because I was short. You dealt with it. But now you have second graders bullying fifth graders online, because who has the mental capacity to handle that? And that's the issue with the technology. We have to make sure they know how to say enough. Or this is the difference between being mean and I'm getting bullied. And this person just keeps attacking me no matter what. And it happens on social media all the time, especially Facebook, and especially with adults. The next row is the row I want you to concentrate on. YOLO is the #1 bullying app in the country. Bullying app. It's an anonymous. Any site that has the word anonymous, that you don't have to log in, you don't have to account for it, it's just anonymous, shouldn't be on. You should be proud of your last name and what you put online. If you can't use your name, you shouldn't be on that site. YOLO is a questionnaire site that you usually connect to their Instagram or their TikTok that you click on. How do I look today? And they put a picture of themselves. Anybody in the world can respond. The #1 response to that question is, you're ugly, go kill yourself. Talk about social emotional. I just want to be liked. I'm putting my picture out there and everyone says I'm ugly, or I'm fat, or I'm too skinny, or this. People are mean. But then it turns into bullying, because then everybody gets to pile on. Twitch is the next one. Now, Twitch is usually connected to gaming sites. So they stream and record their games on Twitch. So if you're not good at Fortnite, you search Twitch for Fortnite, and you can see people that are really good and watch their videos. Or you can sell your Twitches. So if you're a really good gamer and you really want this person, you can buy the Twitch of someone. Problem is, you can put any content you want on Twitch. So you gotta watch what they're using Twitch for. Kik is an anonymous texting app that if I get your number and I download Kik, you won't see the number that's texting you. So I can do that anonymously, so you get text messages from these random numbers because I'm using K. Omegle is weird.
Which one?
Omegle, it's that one. It's a FaceTime app. So you say, I want to talk about flowers, and you turn your FaceTime on and you wait, and then some random person comes up and talks to you about flowers. They're not talking to you about flowers. They're usually naked or doing something weird. It's a weird, weird app. And there's another app I don't have up here, but it's called OnlyFans. It's all pornography. OnlyFans. If you see OnlyFans on any of the phones, smash it. Kids are making, not kids, but it's 18 or older, they're making these videos, and you pay subscriptions to watch 18-year-olds do whatever, 19-year-olds do whatever. OnlyFans is becoming very popular. You have to watch. Nobody should be on OnlyFans. The last one here is Discord. Discord is very popular. Very, very popular. It's basically a chat for gaming. So if your kids are in gaming, Rocket League or Fortnite, they usually have a Discord open where they can discuss the game. Okay. If they're in a closed Discord with just their friends, it's fine. It's the open Discord that anybody in the world can put any content on there. Usually it's okay, but there are pornography, there are words, there are drugs, there are whatever on Discord. It's open to the world. It's not very good if it's not a closed Discord account. Yes?
Even in the closed Discord groups, my step-kids were in a group visual Boston.
Yep.
And the friend, they can post whatever. It's not all
Whatever you want.
It's porn. Like,
It's a chat room.
social, like, bullying,
Yep.
and all of that.
Think of it in the old chat rooms of the day.
I see.
Those bulletin boards, just anything ever. Discord is for gaming, but it's not just used for gaming. And Greg, they're closed, but it depends who's in there. They can post anything they want. They're supposed to be talking about the game, but they're not.
Parents think they're talking about it.
Correct.
Can you repeat the name of that?
Discord. It looks like Mickey Mouse here. It looks like this, his little pants and his bed pan. But it's a game console. Like it's the controller. The last row, Google Drive has saved this all. They just throw everything on Drive. But here's, from a school's perspective, here's what you have to do. You have Google. Everybody's got a Google account. So you don't give your child phones. Your child has a phone. Your child's an Android. Your child just has your old phone with no cell service. You have an iPad. You have a laptop that's from 1982. You have whatever. But they want to talk to each other. So you try to download WhatsApp, but WhatsApp doesn't work on your laptop or whatever. So what they do, they all have a school email account. This is great. We'll just go on Google Drive and we'll do a Google Doc and we'll just start talking to each other and then we'll delete it. Well, the school sees everything. You type the letter A in the Google Doc, guess what? You delete that letter A, you can see that letter A. Nothing disappears on Google Drive. Happens all the time. In one of our high schools, they planned a kite party on Google, deleted it. I just sent the Google Doc to the parent, said, just in case you wouldn't know what's going on in your house this weekend. Because they think, oh, well, delete off Google Drive. We didn't save it. Everything automatically saves in Google. We can see who went in, who did it, who contributed, everything. Everything. They think they're being smart. A lot of kids now are off that because they all get in trouble because they don't realize school can see it all. But it's been an incredible tool for everything.
So do we tell them that we can see it?
Oh, I never tell them.
Or do we let them?
It's just like my kid on Instagram. They just say, hey, yeah, try to do that again. And Ms. Fernandez gives them a call. Did you all do this? Oh. And then it spreads around school, then it's over. It immediately shuts down. When they log into their school account on their own device and then they forget to log out and then go on YouTube and they go other places and they still log in the account, guess what we can see? Their history of everything they did. Like, they have to remember nothing ever disappears. Even when we're not watching, even when not, it all can be brought back. Waze, the most incredible app ever. If there's any law enforcement here, I'm sorry, I'm a speeder. I need Waze. I need to go. It's my one downfall. There it is. But Waze is what social media should be. It's just a GPS. That's all it is. We contribute to Waze. There's a police hit in, there's an accident, there's this, there's that. Can you lie on Waze? Yeah, I can put right now that there's police sitting right here. But when the next person drives by, they correct that mistake. We should be doing that on social media. Using it for a purpose and correcting the mistake. They YouTube everything, everything. We Google, they YouTube. We have kids in this school that are YouTubers that have great channels. They have incredible channels, the content they're putting out there. We also have kids that are doing horrible things on YouTube that need to get off. Again, how they're using it. Pinterest, you can find everything. I mean, anything and anything you want on Pinterest. You know, it's amazing. Christmas, Easter, Advent, you post it, you can do things for free and make things. Then the streaming music, Pandora and Spotify. Anyone know this app? No. Of course not. They do, because they've seen my presentations about 800 times. I'm going to challenge your kids to come home today and ask them to download this app. This is the Pope's app. It's called Click to Pray. Okay? It's an afternoon prayer, morning prayer, evening prayer, monthly prayer. Our kids go to the phones or the device for an outlet. If they're mad, they're happy, they're sad, they're angry. And what they do is they go on and they basically detox themselves on TikTok just to go back to some kind of not reality. Sometimes they just need to pray. I've, again, made my children download this app and put it next to their favorite app. Right next to it. They're like, Dad, people are going to make fun of us. Thanks. I give a Catholic app on my phone. Really? Yeah. I pay for the phone. You have the app on. Too bad. After a month, my daughter comes home and goes, I used the app today. I was mad. I got a bad grade and whatever. I was just not happy. And I almost went to TikTok and I went to Click to Pray. Yeah, different theme. And the theme resonated with her. And she came home and talked about it. Isn't that what we want our kids to do about their faith and prayer? And then come talk to you about something that's, because they'll get lost in TikTok, they'll get lost in Instagram, and they'll never share the information. But reminding them that God is with them and we're always there for them. And then that got them back to where they needed to be. Click to Pray. There's a ton of other ones. Halo, there's a couple other ones. Download the Bible. They're not going to read the Bible. They're not going to do it. Some of them will. But they will do a prayer that's really fast on their phone. And they can do it on their own when they're walking in the hallway. So let's go over Snap a little more. Snapchat has a feature called Snap Maps that allows you to see all your followers and where they are. Okay. So this is a Snap Map of, that's me. My kids keep changing my avatar to some new thing. I don't know Why? These are my daughters, and there was my son down at the Jersey Shore. Okay. I can track them. Some of you use Life 360. Some of you use some other things to track your kids. There's some great apps.
That's if they have their location on, right?
Correct. So there's Snapchat. So let's say before you leave, everybody on Snapchat right here, I get your username and I start following you. And I say, hey, when I'm done with the students today, anyone want to meet for lunch? And we'll go out. And all of you say, no, we all have something to do, it's a busy day, that's great. I go about my day, I get done, Brian's driving me back, and I go on Matt, and I see you all having lunch together. I'm like, wow, my presentation stunk. They didn't like me at all. Wow, they all said that. Great. I'm 51 years old. That's hard to take, but I can handle it. Try an 8-year-old. Try a 12-year-old. Try an immature 26-year-old. Can't handle it. Some of us in life have experienced this at a younger age. You weren't invited somewhere, or you were lied to by your friends, but you never found out about it until maybe later, maybe a month later, maybe never. Maybe you did find out that night. But picture your son or daughter not be included in something and sitting in the room or sitting with you, and they're getting real-time information that they're missing out immediately on something because they weren't invited to it. That's what's happening today. So you just have to be ready for those conversations. You have to be ready for, you know what, that's life. Yeah, it sucks that you're not there. You know, some of them snap the kids. Hey, you're missing this. I wasn't invited. Oh, too bad. You know, or, oh, yeah. Or, I wanted you to go, but Jimmy didn't want you to go. So I could invite you because it's happening in real time. There's no time to process it. There's no time for it to go away a week later. You weren't invited. 2 minutes later, you're seeing one. That's what happens a lot with Snapchat, because they have these features now. You just have to know about it. If your child have Snapchat, click on the little map thing, you can see all the people that follow your kid. It lights up like a Christmas tree everywhere. We also have to explain to them that what they see on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat is not a real life snapshot of that person's life. They're lying to you because they're only showing you how perfect their life is. I talked about my twins. My twins were horrible human beings when they were born. Horrible. I don't know why we did it. Colic, crying. We didn't sleep. We thought we were doing everything wrong. And then you go on Facebook and you see Mary and Joe's kid is an angel, and oh, there's something like the first week, and my kid eats, and my kid does this, and they always smile. And I have the two devil children sitting there. But then I call the husband of those people, and he's telling me how awful this kid is. And I'm like, well, tell your wife to put the picture of the kid throwing up on you at 2 in the morning. That will make me feel a lot better. But we get sucked into that. Oh, that family always goes on vacation. Oh, that family's got everything. Oh, they got a new dog. Oh, the kid's got into that college. Oh my God. Oh my God. What do I got? This is it? We fall into that. But we got to remember that's not true. Everybody's different. Everybody has problems. Everybody's not perfect. Your life is just as good as anybody else's. It's just different. And that's why God made us. But we're just showing everybody how great we are. No. We have to remind kids that's not real. That's a snapshot of what they want you to see not what their life is really about. And that's hard. I'm going to talk to them about 4 F's today: faith, family, friends, and future. Okay? Anything you do on technology, those 4 F's have to resonate on anything they do. We talked about faith already. We talked about some friends. Family's a big thing. I challenge them. We're tough on them. We're their parents. Too bad. But if they're lucky enough to still have a grandparent alive or an aunt or uncle, then no matter what we do to them, the grandparent makes them feel better. It's okay. You know, and they you know, you have that grandparent connection with the grandchildren, or you have that favorite aunt or uncle that no matter what they do wrong, they're going to make them feel better. So my thing to them is, could you hand your device to them unfiltered and show them all your group texts, show them who you're following on Snapchat, show them your TikToks, or would you be embarrassed? Because your parents, yes, your grandparents see you differently. If you can't give that phone unfiltered, you need to fix this phone immediately. You need to start unfollowing things. You need to stop cursing online. You need to stop using this stuff, because you should never be embarrassed by your phone. You should be the same person you are here on here. That resonates with them. They're like, my grandma would be really upset with me if she saw this. I teach at St. Joseph's University, teach at Villanova. Your future depends on what you do right now on social media with kids. Imagine your child getting to Harvard or wherever they want to go. You have a graduation party for them in June. I don't know how I'm going to pay for Harvard, but you know what? I'm going. Great, super. Summer starts, and then Harvard sends your child a letter saying, you're out. You're out. Because of something you put on social media. 10 freshmen that happened to in June of 2017. They put memes on their social media site that Harvard didn't like, sent them a letter, kicked them out, before they even started. St. Joseph's University, Villanova University, all have social media coordinators now. All they do is go through people's social media. That's it. Penn State, Duke, SMU, all put things on Twitter and Facebook to show students what you're doing on social media can affect you in college. I don't care if you're the greatest athlete ever. I don't care if you're the greatest academic person ever. You put something stupid on social media, you're not coming to our university. Duke says it great. Your pages say about a lot of your character, your discipline, and your common sense. College is not something that you must go to. They invite you to the university. And they can kick you out of the university. I will show this to the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders today. Dante DiVincenzo is a local Philly person. He went to an elementary Catholic school just like this one. He went to a Catholic high school in Philadelphia, right outside in Wilmington, Delaware, Salesiana. He graduated in 2015 from Salesiana High School. Catholic family, Catholic kid. Went to Villanova University to play basketball. Catholic university. He was about the 6th man on the team on basketball. Injuries, things like that. He got the start. Okay. The year he started, Villanova won the national championship. Won the whole thing. He was one of the main reasons why they won. After he won, he was thinking about going to the NBA. But plays this game, wins the national championship. He's cutting down the nets. People Googled him because they didn't know who he was. Who's this Dante DiVincenzo? National television. this kid is just lighting it up. I mean, it's just amazing. Villanova University was sent his Twitter account. PR department was getting pummeled with emails of screenshots of his Twitter account. So if you look at the date, 2011, 2013, 2000, this is just snapshot 2012. He graduated high school in 2015. So that says this is when he did it in 8th grade, 9th grade, 7th grade. So pull him off the court. I say, Dante, is this your Twitter account? He goes, no, I don't have a Twitter account. What are you talking about? I don't use Twitter. Goes back, still celebrates with the team. Pull him off the court again. Dante, we need you to really look at this. Look at the dates. He's like, oh my gosh, that's the Twitter account I used in grade school, high school. I forgot about that account. I don't use it anymore. Pulled him off the floor. He had to go in the PR department with lawyers. He had to go on television and apologize nationally for something he did in 8th grade and 9th grade. He entered the draft. He got selected by the Milwaukee Bucks, but not at the level that he was supposed to go. Teams skipped over him, skipped over him, skipped over him, and then the Bucks took him. He lost a total of $5 to $7 million in salary because of what he did in 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. That's reality of an all-star. Normal kids like us don't have the lawyers, the PR firm, and the talent of an NBA star to try to get through this. You Google his name, it still comes up today. That's the problem with a mistake today if we don't fix it soon. And that's why our kids have to tell us when something happens. That's why we need, because your future could be affected by a simple picture, by a simple post, by a simple snap, by something like that. We know fake news, we know fake profiles, we know sexting is happening. Sexting is happening in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. You take a picture of yours, I'll send you a picture of mine. They do it. It's child pornography, it's illegal. It's illegal. You have to report it to the police if you find any naked pictures of a child, because the IP addresses are tracked. I can figure out who they went to. If you just delete it, next person reports it, your IP address comes up, and they know you've had that. It's not going away. It's here to stay. It's how you want to manage what you do with technology. And what do you do? It's great that you're all here, but what about these parents that aren't here? As a community, we need to start discussing things when you're at the soccer field, when you're cheerleading, when you're musical, when you're at the bar. Hey, did you hear about this app called Discord? Your kid's on Discord? I get it. And explaining and having those conversations. Your school does a great job with curriculum here and control, but it's what's in their pocket is what we're afraid of. Your principal deals with more stuff that happens outside of school than what happens inside of school. She's dealing with group texts that happen at night, that some parent finally takes a screenshot and says, you're gonna have a problem tomorrow here. And then she's gotta go, call this one down, call this one down, call you, call this one down. Instead of doing what she's supposed to be doing, is educating your child and making the best Christian, but she's dealing with stuff because it comes to the school. And sometimes she says, you know what, this is a parent problem. I'm just going, parents, here it is. Just so you know, I'm done. Happens all over the place. The community. Our kids just don't hang around kids from St. Hugh. They hang around kids from all over. It's having more conversations. In your house, do you have a Wi-Fi contract on your refrigerator? Meaning, when your kids come over to use your Wi-Fi, these are the rules of my house. You want to use my Wi-Fi? These are my rules. If not, use your 5G. And the parent calls you, why is my kid's phone bill always so high at your house? Well, we don't use TikTok or Discord here at my house. They want the Wi-Fi. These are the rules of my house. And then when your kids go to another house, your Wi-Fi rules still stand because you've put them in place in that. Now they can break them, but at least they know you have a contract on the refrigerator that you made together. And involve them. Hey guys, here's our rules. If you break the rules, what consequences should happen? And then discuss. Come to the middle ground. Fine, I won't take your phone. You can only use the phone in the kitchen for a week, but you're not allowed to take it out. Like, you don't want them, because taking the phone is like breaking their arm. They have no friends now. They're not included in anything. You have to find them. It's ridiculous. So come up with rules that you all agree with, so when they break the rules that are on the refrigerator, you made them and they made them. Hey, you made the consequences, not me. These are our rules. We did it together. Done. And it helps you parent with them. Questions?
I just read an article
The suicide piece is huge. Like with the pictures, if they're taking, and then they get blackmailed, and then I'm embarrassed. I don't want to tell my parents, and then they can't handle it mentally. That's why it's great to go through the phone. That's why it's great to say, it's that driver's license. They're going to turn 16, 17, and the license, you're going to go through training, you're going to make, this is worse than the car, but we're giving to them at 8. Have the rules, have the things, do what you need to do to keep them safe. Yes?
What do you think about apps like, for example, Our Pact?
Our Pact is great, I use it. I like Our Pact. Our Pact, you press a button, you shut all the apps off. Boop, you got your alarm clock, that's it. And they get all mad.
Well,
So
I don't think it's the coolest thing ever, but I don't like it.
Our Pact is good. Doesn't fit your parenting style.
Yeah.
I used to make my kids put them on the nightstand. Every night, I want them right here. And they used to sneak in my room and try to get them. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night, like, what are you doing?
Can you go over suggested ages for like apps, phone, Wi-Fi, everything?
It's maturity of your child. And every child's different. 13 years old for social media is what the companies recommend. Okay, but they're on it younger. My family, I waited till confirmation. We did confirmation in 7th grade. My kids got a phone in 7th grade. They had iPads and stuff to wean them to the phone. Some are giving them in kindergarten. But there's reasons. My kid has diabetes. They have the Dexcom app. I need them to do that. Or you know what? I have Life 360 on them. We both work. I like tracking my child. Here it is. Or they need the phone to call somebody. Fine. But if you're going to start downloading apps, connect your iClouds together so they get permission. You get notified. Oh, you can't download that app. You can't do this. Games, they all vary because of the age. But it's that chat feature, it's who they're playing, it's what they're doing. So if they're in Roblox, it's fine. But if they're chatting in Roblox and doing all the other stuff, it's not. It's that whole piece of managing those apps together. It's not board games like when we grew up where it said 8-year-olds are older, that's it. They all have access to this. So you have to control the communication of, we don't do this because this. I can check your phone. I'm going to do it. We're going to get on together. If you wait too long, it's a bad example, but we'll all get it. those of us that went to college and you saw the kids that never had a drink of alcohol and discovered this life of freedom, and all they did was drink. You're like, yo, what are you doing? This is crazy. They're nuts. If you lock them down too much with technology and all of a sudden they get this freedom, it's crazy. I'm not saying drink underage, I'm not saying, but we know that concept. I'd rather them go through the journey together with us, let them make mistakes and we can fix it, rather than borrowing everything and then doing it on their own behind our backs and learning it the wrong way. I know that's not the greatest answer, but it's maturity. It's really they gotta earn the trust for each act. They gotta get knocked down sometimes when they make mistakes, but then you keep going.
Any tips on how to help them self-regulating?
The tips on self-regulating is you have to tell them dinner time is no phones. Homework is only homework. You have to actually set that schedule of a half hour before you go to sleep, the phone has to go off, because mentally, the ambient light from this device, if you're falling asleep with this device on, you are not getting the proper sleep. Half hour before you go to sleep, it has to be turned off. You fall asleep with it, just because you got 6 hours sleep, your brain did not get 6 hours sleep. Your brain got 3 hours sleep, because it's still going from what they did with the device. We have to make sure they understand that piece. And breaks, you know what? Dinner time's the big thing, and that's a big thing for us. We have to put our phones down too to model that behavior, to regulate. They should be able to put this down for at least a half an hour and walk away with it. You ever take their phone and just sit there and look at it? Missing 10 calls, I hear it, I know. That's a problem. Like, you should be able to put it down. The sad thing in my life, if I leave my wallet at home, I have to drive an hour to work. I won't drive back. If I leave my phone, I'll go back. I'll be late today, I brought my phone home. Now, nature of my job, being director of technology, the whole thing, yes, I get it. They collapse if they don't have their phone. And it's us doing a better job of weeding them off it in the beginning. I know it's 9:30. I know we have the students coming in 9:30, right? So we have to wrap up, but I appreciate you coming. Thank you. Hope this was helpful.
Mr. San Francesco is going to be talking to you about the internet, about social media, about Snapchat, all of those things that some of you already use, so that you can be very educated and you know how to use them correctly and safely. Isn't that a good idea? Yes. Your parents were here just a little while ago and they loved it. So we're here this morning so that he can show you how to play on your phone or on video games, but do things in a safe way. All right? Okay. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.
Super. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I am from right outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Anybody been to Philadelphia ever? A couple people, okay? That's where I live. I grew up there. I went to a Catholic grade school there. I went to a Catholic high school there. I taught in the Catholic high schools in Philadelphia. Loved it. All right? But now I'm here to talk to you about technology and social media and games and everything that you may or may not do. All right? But we're going to start off with these F's up here. Okay? So anything you do on technology, I want you to remember these F's. So family, faith, friends, and your future. Okay? So when you do something, let's say on some things, let's try a little game. I'm gonna play a game with you right now. How many like games? You want to do a game? We'll do a game. All right. So how many have some kind of device, a phone, an iPad, or something like that, or a computer at home? All right, put your hand. Everybody. So let's say there's a new rule in this game that you have to delete all the apps you downloaded except for 2. Now, you can keep all the apps that came with the device. So, like Safari and FaceTime and, all messaging, that came with the phone or iPad, right? That's already on there. It's the actual ones that you downloaded. You went to the Apple store and said, oh, I want this here. Mom, Dad, can I have this? Whatever, right? And you put it on the device. You have to delete all them and only keep 2. Which 2 would you keep? Talk to each other. Talk to one another. Which 2 would you keep? What 2 apps would you keep? Talk to each other. Talk to each other. Tell everybody. Tell everybody. What would you do? The 2 apps, David. Got it. YouTube and Roblox. Go ahead. Okay. 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 Okay.
Roblox and Minecraft.
Okay.
Roblox and iPhone.
Okay.
Message and Disney Plus.
Okay.
Apple Store and Disney Plus.
Okay.
Discord and Roblox.
Okay.
WhatsApp and Netflix.
Okay.
Oh yeah, HBO Max and
Instagram. Okay. Okay.
Minecraft and Mario Kart.
Okay.
I don't like Roblox, Google,
Okay. 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 Very good. So, let's talk about some of the apps that we just talked about. So I heard Roblox, some games. Okay. So, with those games come sometimes a chat feature, right? Some. So I know Roblox does, right? How do we know who we're chatting to? How do we know who's on that other end? You don't. So your friends. Sometimes we know our friend's gamer name, right? So you know who they are. What kind of information are you allowed to give to the people you're playing the game with?
Like your favorite thing.
Okay. Something you like to do. Okay.
Your favorite type of
Favorite dog. Okay. Nothing. Okay. That is what you're supposed to do. Now, here's why. Okay. I know a lot of you like discussing things, but the problem is you're sharing information with strangers. Okay. Let's not talk about games right now. Let's talk about life. Everyone hears the term stranger danger, right? So what happens when a stranger approaches you? What are you supposed to do if you feel uncomfortable because a stranger has approached? All right, so logging off, but I mean in real life. Walk away. Tell your parents. Okay?
You should probably not try to run away, but walk away calmly.
Right.
And just to check if they're following you, you should walk around the same place, and if they still are following you, try to go to a crowded street.
Perfect. Perfect. Tell them to stop.
Walk away and tell anyone that I know.
Tell them trust them. No. Sometimes run away, you can.
You can tell them, oh, I have to go, my mom's calling me.
Okay.
I got to.
So we know what to do. Hold on. We know what to do when we see somebody. You should also remember those rules when online. Because some of us, not all of us, some of us are having conversations with total strangers. That you don't know who is on that other side of that screen. That's why it's important you don't give information away in your screen name. Make sure your screen name is not your real name. Make sure your screen name is something different so people can't identify who you are unless your parents give you permission. If your parents says it's okay to have your screen name what it is, then you're fine. If your parents say you can give that information, then it's fine. You don't give that information to anybody unless you have your parent permission. Okay? You can play those games. If you're allowed to talk in the chat room, talk in the chat room. But make sure you know who you're talking to and you're not giving out information about where you live, who you are, and where you go to school. Yes?
But what if, like, the stranger on the other end has an IP address forever?
So we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay? We'll get into that in a little bit.
So, right, that somebody, if you see them in Roblox,
Right?
are they able, while you're talking to them, are they able to sneak up and just become random, just become random people in your messages and you can't get them out?
Sometimes. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I just,
You can block them, right?
yeah,
You can block them. You can report them.
well, I'm fine with that. It's just that I don't give out information in games.
That's perfect. That's good.
I would block them to block my locations and everything.
Blocking your location is a good thing, right? So they don't find out who you are and where you are. So here's another thing. So watch this. I'm going to text Mr. Murphy back there, right? I just texted him, hi. How does he know that's me? How does he know that I just texted him? How does he know? So he has my name and number, and it comes up, Mr. San Francisco, in the phone, right? Yeah. Great. Now, what's your name? Text, say hi. Was that me who texted Mr. Murphy? Does he know that? It was Abby, right? She did it. So you're never 100% sure who's on that other end unless you see them. So if I FaceTime Mr. Murphy, will he know it's Abby?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, sometimes you can figure out who they are by the way they talk to you on text, right? You figure out who they are, you know who they're, but you always have to be careful who you're sending information to, who you're texting, who you're talking on roadblocks with, who you're using. Yes?
Sometimes like maybe some of your friends might do like prank calls.
Right. So there's prank calls. Oh, look at this person. How many have group text? Anybody have a group text? A lot of us have group text. Okay. Hands down. Some of us are using group text for a good thing. And some of us are using group text for a not so good thing. For example, what I'm seeing a lot in group text are people being mean to each other and then throwing somebody out of the group text to talk about that person. Now, let's talk about our faith. Okay? We're all God's people. Some of us may not get along with each other. You may not like that person at that moment. But you still have to respect that person as a person of God. You don't have to be best friends with them. You can be mad, but you can't talk badly about someone behind someone's back, and especially on text messaging. You can think it. You can have feelings. But wait. Yeah, maybe that person is not a nice person. Maybe they're mean all the time. You don't have to go tell the world on group text messaging. You don't have to throw them out. You still have to respect them as a person. You don't have to like them. You have to respect them. Now, if you see something on text messaging, let's say you are in a group text, and you see some mean behavior going on, people talking badly about someone, and your parent gets your phone and checks your phone and sees this, and you say, Mom, I didn't say anything. Look, I didn't say anything. It was so-and-so, it was so-and-so. I was just in the text. God wants you to do something, not just watch something. If you're seeing somebody getting bullied, treated badly, or being mean in a group text, and you don't do anything, God is disappointed because you should be standing up for people. You should tell somebody. Maybe you don't want to talk in the group text. Go tell your mom or dad, hey, they're talking bad about Sarah in this text message. Don't just watch it. Or you know what? Michael's getting bullied in this text message. They threw him out. And they're just talking mean. I don't want to deal with it. Because if I say something, then someone says something about me, that's why I didn't respond. But if you don't do anything, that's a problem. You don't have to respond back. If you want to, you can. Hey, I don't like this talk. Let's talk about something else. And if they start being mean, get out of the chat and show your parents. Because we want you to be a better person by standing up for people that can. And just watching it, you're as guilty as the people doing it. Because your family name is connected to that group text. You represent your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle, generations that you don't even met, that has your last name, and it's attached to that group text. Most of you, you're doing the right thing. You don't have to worry about anything. In this room, most of you using technology the right way. Some of you are right on that line of, I gotta start being a better person with technology. The other thing I want to challenge you today is those that have a device, can you give your phone or your iPad or your Chromebook, whatever you have, unfiltered to a grandmother or grandfather, to an aunt or uncle? Could they read all your text messages? Could they go on your social media or your Roblox and read what you posted or what other people posted? Or would you be a little embarrassed? You have to think about that every time. You need to be the person that's in here the same as on here. You should not be someone different. The cursing, the language, the videos you're watching. Would you do that in front of your grandmother or grandfather, or only do that on the device? That's what you have to say to yourself. Because your family and your friends are all affected, and we're going to talk about the future. Anyone know where they want to go to college or what they want to do when they graduate? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Okay. What do you want to do?
FIU.
Okay. What do you want to do? All right. What do you want to do? Okay. What do you want to do? All right. What do you want to do? All right. What do you want to do? Okay. What do you want to do? Great. What do you want to do? All right. Love it. Good. Awesome. Okay. All right.
We have two of our
Okay.
eighth graders that are graduating this
Okay.
year.
Great. What do you want to do? Great. What do you want to do? Yeah. What do you want to do?
And I want to go to University of Miami and learn to become an astronaut.
Love it. Go. Okay.
I want to go to Swift.
All right.
You laugh.
All right. Okay.
I want to be an actor or a teacher.
Okay.
I want to be an astronaut.
Good. All right.
I want to be a fashion designer.
All right. One more.
A surgeon.
Go. All right.
A soccer player.
All right. I'm a professor at St. Joseph's University. Okay. And I have to tell students they can't come to our university because they did something dumb on technology. If you're not smart with using technology, meaning you post something that's inappropriate on social media, or if you do something on text messaging that goes online and people can see, it can affect your future. And we don't allow people to come to our university if they have a bad social media profile. So when you get on the social media, when you're getting later in life, and some of you are here are already on social media, if you're looking at content or making content that is not appropriate, that you can't show a grandmother or grandfather, you could be affecting your future. So you have to watch what you look for, because I have 2 seniors in high school that are going to go to college next year. When they applied to college, they had to put all their social media handles on the application. Some of you are maybe thinking about a high school. They also ask to see if you have social media and what you're doing on it. I know a lot of you are not on social media, and that's a good thing. Some of you are on social media, which is a good thing too if your parents give you permission. What is the age you're allowed to be on social media by the companies, unless you have parent permission. What's the age? 13, you are correct. Anybody 13 in this room? 13 or older? I'm 13 or older.
The only age I got my app store and Instagram was 12.
To Instagram, they did change to 12, but TikTok and the rest are 13, right? But regardless, is anybody 12 or 13 or besides the adults? If you're on those apps, you are on illegally and you're breaking a commandment. You're lying about your age if you are on those apps, unless you have parent permission. If your parents gave you permission to go on those apps, you are not on illegally and you're not breaking a commandment. But if you do download those apps and go on, you're breaking a commandment because you're lying about your age. And God is always present, always present. You may be doing things on Roblox or whatever, and God's not, your parents not there. Oh, this is funny. God is always with us, always with us. Yes.
My dad told me a story that this man got into Harvard or Yale, I don't remember. And then a few days later, he got accepted. And then he posted this very rude and inappropriate meme. And then or something.
Yep.
And then he got kicked out of Harvard.
You are 100% right.
In college that he got accepted about to end the year. So then they got a message like that. He posted something, and then the next day he got kicked out.
Great. I actually have the Harvard thing right here. So who can tell me what a meme is? What's a meme? What's a meme? Who can tell me what a meme is? Some of the teachers here may not know what a meme is. Who can give me a definition or a description of what a meme is? Give me what a meme is.
Something funny that's not a video, kind of a picture.
It's not a picture and they put words on it, right? It could be a normal picture, but then they put some words that give it a different context, right? What's your name? She was 100% right. That happened to 10 freshmen. They got into Harvard, they put memes on their social media page, and they got kicked out before they even started. Sometimes we think things are funny that we see that somebody else may not think is funny. So you got to watch what you post and what you share and what you like. Okay. So someone brought IP address up. All right. How many have a gaming system, an Xbox or a PlayStation or something like that? Okay. How many have the headset that you can talk in that gaming system? Okay, hands down. So let's say you're playing Fortnite, right? You're laughing. You play Fortnite? No. So let's say you're playing Fortnite and you have the headset on. And this 8-year-old that you're playing against constantly beats you. Okay? 8-year-old. No, it's a real 8-year-old. Okay, real 8-year-old that beats you. And you have the headset on. And you get mad at this 8-year-old on the headset. And you say some things maybe not so nice to the 8-year-old. Okay? But your parents aren't there and no one's listening and it's just on the headset. Every one of those those recordings are saved by the company that owns those devices. So every time you talk on that headset, it gets saved by your IP address. Your IP address is a unique number that only that device has. That's it. Only that device has. It's unique to that device. Every device has an IP address. So when you go to a website, when you send an email, when you send a text message, when you do a TikTok, whatever, your IP address is invisible, but people like me that are computer people and the police and things like that in the companies only see it. So let's say you're on that gaming system And you said not a nice thing to an 8-year-old, but the parent heard you say that and reported you to the police. The police then get the record of your IP address, and all those conversations come back. Nothing you do online ever disappears. Ever. Ever. So you got to make sure you're doing things the right way, with the right people, at the right time. Yes.
So one time this mean thing happened. So I was tired of being in just a single group chat. I wanted to make a better group chat.
Uh-huh.
This group chat was called Dinner Great Dinner.
Right.
But first I was in the group chat. But then one of the
So you made a better
one of
group
my
chat.
friends, one of my friends were mad about the group chat. They wanted to keep the duck one, that they were able to kick me out and everybody else out.
So
I read on.
So we're gonna talk about that, right? It's okay that you create another group chat, but it's not okay to
But
kick.
it's hard to.
Right. It's not okay to kick people out for certain reasons. You have to explain to people, and this is a great conversation. You may not agree or like something that somebody says and you want to kick them out immediately, but being a Catholic means that we try to get along with everybody and appreciate your differences. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I hate you. It means we don't agree with something, but I still like you as a person, or I still respect you as a person. We may not have the same similar things. I may like sports, you may like music, you may like this. We may just be different. That's okay. God made us all different for a reason. But there's no reason to be mean to somebody and throw them out and not appreciate their, what's called perspective in life. Yeah, you can make another group chat, but just don't be mean to that person. What you're also going to deal with is mean people. Some people are just mean. Some people are just mean. Get them out. Move ahead. You can say hello to them, but don't engage in conversation with them, because some of them are just mean.
Also, like if you post a video, but then you're like, it's not right, it's still saved in your iPhone.
Correct. You post a video, someone can actually save that video, right? And then you can never get it back. Once you post something online or put a text message, you can never take it back, ever. So here's what I want you to do. When you're mad, when you're angry, when you're not happy, and you want to text it to somebody or say something, I want you to do it, but not send it. Okay? I want you to type it out and not send it. And then I want you to put the phone or iPad down. And then I want you to calm down. Then I want you to go back and read it. And if you still feel that way and you're calm, maybe you should send it. But I guarantee you, most of you will be like, I'm really happy I didn't send that because I calmed down. I talked to my mom, I talked to my dad, I talked to that person. We made up. If I sent that, that would have been pretty mean, or that would have been hurtful, or that's not what I really meant. And then you have the chance to delete it without anybody seeing it. Because if you send it, you can never take it back. So you have to watch what we send and what we send out. There's an app I want you all to download when you go home. But I want you to ask your parents first. Okay? It's called Click to Pray. Click to Pray. It's the Pope it's an app by the Pope. The Pope has his own app. And it's a prayer app. You can pray every day. The Pope puts a prayer out every morning, every afternoon, every night. He puts a prayer out every month. It's to remind you that your family sends you to a Catholic school for a reason. And some of you have the device and you have nothing Catholic on your device. Nothing. And sometimes we need to pray. So I want you to go home and ask your parents if you could download Click to Pray, the Pope's app, and put it on your device. And use it when you're feeling bad. Or you know what? I'm in a good mood today. I want to pray today. Because I know some of you need to do that. Yes?
One day, we were on a chat and this person, I don't know the
You're not saying.
but the person sent me a very appropriate video.
Okay.
And then me and someone else were talking to them.
Good.
And then he was
Right. They were being inappropriate.
and then he said, "Oh, I didn't mean to send that. I meant to send it to my other friend."
Should be sending it all, right?
Exactly. And then me and my friend said, "You should send it."
Here's what I want you to do now. I want you to talk to each other. What one thing did you learn today? Talk to each other. What one thing did you learn today? Okay. What I'm gonna do, one person in each section to share what they learned today. So, whoever here, what one thing did you learn today? Go.
I learned that you have to be careful on like social media apps and like if someone texts you as your best friend and they're like, "Oh hi," you might not know it's them, so you have to be very careful. Maybe you can have like a secret word with them
Yeah.
to make sure.
Good.
You should think before saying something.
Think before sending something. Very good. This group,
Think before you post.
think before you post.
I learned that sometimes if you're really angry, to type it out and not send it, and that really helps you calm down.
Good.
I learned that there's an app that's a post.
Poke back. How about that? Great.
That your IP address keeps everything.
Keeps everything.
You should have the app so
Not downloading apps in their approach. Right.
I learned that you should think before you text.
Think before you text.
Like, be respectful on technology.
Respectful on technology.
Do not send bad things to anyone.
Good.
I learned that even if you post something and even if you delete it,
Still be there. All right, good. Hands down. Teachers, always give an opportunity. You don't have to. Anything to add to this conversation. Experiences, things you've had happen to other students, reinforcing what we talked about. Always give a chance for teachers to add anything. You don't have to. I just want to make sure.
I was actually just telling them that the school that I worked in before, one of the high schoolers was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, and he was wearing the school sweater. And somebody screenshotted that picture and he got expelled.
Yep.
And he
Good.
was almost done. He was almost done with high school and for doing something that he didn't even think was gonna cause
So we
him any harm.
talked about family, right? We talked about our own family. All of us are connected to the St. Hugh family. Even when you're not wearing the uniform, You are still part of this family. So what you do in and outside of school represent your family and the St. Hugh family. So you have to remember that in everything you do. It's a great conversation. Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, a lot.
Teachers,
I have
yes.
something else to say, that a lot of the profiles are private. So how do you get into those private profiles?
So-
Because you obviously can go into it, so they know that not everything is private.
If you have one friend, you are not private. Private means people outside can't get in. But who you let in makes you not private anymore. Because then I could share your profile snapshot with you, with you, with you. You're private to, yes, the public community, but you're no longer private to whoever you are following or follow. So you're not really private. So if I get mad at you and I'm friends with you, but she wants to see her and she's not in, I can screenshot and now she can post it anywhere she wants. So being private, yes, is a good thing, but it's not the word private. It's you're just letting in who you want, but everybody can share whatever they want. So yes, that's a great misconception of the word private. One friend, you're not really private. Teachers, anything else? Yes.
Yes, I would like to add that listening to you, thank you for being here
Sure.
for us. This has been very good to incorporate and have the children get all this information that they would not get. And it's very important, children, that you listen and follow through, because your parents are the ones that are there to protect you right now. And anything that you see wrong, you need to tell your parents. Those are the people that love you, that protect you, that God has given you as a gift to take care of you. Make sure that in the future, you don't do anything like that is happening or listening to, because that affects you when you go to college. And not only college, but high school, that is even closer to right now. And when you start applying to high school, they will find out, and they'll let you know you're not in. So remember that you gotta be very careful. It looks like it's just a game and it's fun, and if you want to be in it, and hey, I'm a friend of her, she's a friend of me, and I want to be in that group, and I want to be in that group. Then later, you can't get that information back. Anything you give into those phones, it's gone. So don't do it.
Thank you. All right, it's 10:15. I know the next group's coming in now. So, boys and girls, thank you for listening. Teachers, thank you for spending the time with me today. Good luck and have a great summer. So we're going to start out with 4 F's. Okay. Faith, family, future, and friends. Doesn't matter what order. Anytime you do anything on technology, you have to ask yourself, how does it affect my family? How is this going to affect my faith? How is this going to affect my family or my friends? How is this going to affect my future? I'm going to cover all 4 of those things today. By the end of this conversation, you're either on board or you have a lot of cleaning up to do. I know many of you are on social media, are using technology, text messaging, whatever. I'm not here to tell you to get off. That is not my job. My job is to give you facts and to show you there's consequences to every action that you do that you may not even be thinking about today. So I'm going to give you a challenge. Play a little game here. So if I told you there's a new rule that you have to delete every app that you've downloaded on your phone except for 2. Now, the things that came on your phone, Safari, messaging, FaceTime, they don't count. They're already on the phone. It's the actual apps that you go to the store, download. You had to delete them all and only keep 2. Which 2 would you keep? Talk to each other. Talk to each other. Which 2?
I think everyone's thinking.
You have 2 apps. Who wants to share the 2 apps? No. All right, we're listening. One person is speaking at a time. One person.
TikTok and
TikTok and YouTube.
TikTok and content definitions from
TikTok and Snapchat. Dream League and not foot. Netflix and Snapchat.
Okay.
TikTok and Snapchat.
Okay.
TikTok and WhatsApp.
Okay.
TikTok and Snapchat.
TikTok and ESPN.
Discord and Twitter.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. What is the legal age you are allowed to be on those social media apps without parent permission? 12 to 13 years old. Usually 13, Instagram changed theirs to 12, 13 for the rest. You are doing something illegal if your parents don't know that you have that account. You're not just doing something illegal, you're breaking a commandment. You're lying about your age to get on that app. So you're breaking a commandment, you're breaking a real law. Okay. You have to tie things to your faith these days. Just because no one's watching, it's because we can do it. God is always present, always. You have to answer to Him on what your actions are today with technology. Yeah, Snapchat's never going to yell at me because I'm 13 and young. Who's going to know? Well, if you do something illegal on Snapchat and it goes to the police, you're on there illegally. And your parents get in trouble because they buy the phone. They're responsible for you. Breaking commandments also. You need to think about those 4 apps while moving forward. Most of you have nothing Catholic on your phone. Nothing. This app is by the Pope. It's called Click to Pray. I'm challenging every one of you to download the Pope's app. Because all of us need prayer in our life. Yeah, you can laugh, you can do whatever. It's fine. But your parents send you to a Catholic school for a reason. Your parents are investing in your faith. But yet, you do nothing about it when you're on this device. I know some of you, when you get angry, sad, mad, having a bad day, you go right to TikTok or right to Snapchat just for an outlet. And that's fine. But sometimes if you remember that God is always here and the Pope is putting prayers out, just so you can read real fast, maybe that gets you in a different emotional state. If you remember that you feel alone, everyone's mad at you, whatever, and you say, oh, you know what? I remember to pray today. Better place. Then go to TikTok. Then go to Snapchat. Click to pray. Have something about your faith when you're scrolling. Do you know the Pope has an Instagram? Pope has a Twitter? Pope has a Facebook? He's getting a TikTok page. Follow the Pope. So when you're scrolling through your feed, your faith is present. Don't just do all the influencers and all the things. Have something about your religious part of your life. Being a digital Catholic citizen requires you to be something special. Being a digital citizen requires you to be the best person you can be on this device. Cursing, things like that, out. But being a Catholic digital citizen is something better. Many of you in group text message. Many of you have group text message. You sit there, whatever. Then you toss somebody out. Or you see someone get tossed out of a group text message. And then all of a sudden, so-and-so is talking badly about that person. She's this, she's that, he's this, he's that. That people are contributing to the bad talk about the person that you tossed out or may not be even in that group text. Let's say a screenshot goes to your parents. Or what usually happens is a screenshot goes to your principal. From some parent, probably the parent of the person who's getting bullied. It's got all these names on it. Principal calls you in. You look, I didn't say anything. Look, I didn't say anything. I was on that group text, but I didn't say anything. You didn't do anything. That's the problem. That's the Catholic piece that you're missing. You watched someone get bullied or talked about or had lies against them all in that group text, and you did nothing except for reading. As a Catholic, you need to A, get out of the conversation, B, stick up for that person, or if you don't want to snitch on anybody, you need to tell an adult. But you did nothing. But now you're in trouble. All of you are part of a family. Your last name represents generations of your family. And your family name is sitting there in that group text with all that nonsense going on. You're embarrassing your family. You're also embarrassing the family of this school. You're all part of the St. U family for life. For life. And yet that behavior still happens outside of school. Yeah, it's going to happen everywhere. But it doesn't have to happen to students that go here, are from here, and are part of here. You need to step up that behavior. Your family name, your family school, your faith, all part of you. Your friends are affected by everything you do. Everything you post online, you affect thousands of people that follow you or being followed by you. That one post, you're affecting lives. How are you making it a positive? Or are you just posting stuff to post stuff? What's the purpose of you using Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, any of the apps you mentioned today? It could be just for fun. It could be just for entertainment. It could be just for communication. What's the focus? And remember this when you're posting stuff and viewing your feeds. What you're seeing is not the truth or the whole picture of someone's life. When you scroll through those feeds, you're going through and you say, oh, that person's on vacation, that person has a dog, that person's great at everything, that person gets AIDS, that person gets this. That's not true. It may be partly true, but they're not showing you their failures. Their life is not perfect. Our life is not perfect, but our life is special. We're all unique and have talents in a different way. Just because you don't see it online. Oh, you may not be good at basketball, but you're good at chess. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, I may not be a great musician, but academically I'm awesome. Hey, I may not be good at anything, but I'm a good person. That's even better. Do not judge yourself on who you see on your feeds. Be who you are. Don't be somebody different because you want to be someone you're following. Don't get influenced. Their job is to influence. Be who you are. Another challenge I have for you. Our parents are tough on us, yes? They have a lot of rules. A lot of rules. Some of us may still have our grandmother or grandfather that's still alive, or an aunt or an uncle. That no matter what we do wrong, they love us no matter what. We can go to them, whatever they say, they're like, come here, don't worry about it. Give you a hug, get you ice cream, make your favorite food. No matter what you do wrong, they don't see that fault. They love you no end. Many of us still have that in our lives. My challenge to you is this. If you want to know if you're using technology right, can you give your phone unfiltered to your grandmother or grandfather or aunt or uncle and let them see your group texts, your Snapchats, your TikToks, what you looked up on YouTube, the videos you're watching, the content you're making? Would you be embarrassed, or would you be proud of who you are on this and in here? If the answer is no, think about why you're using this device. Because your grandmother, grandfather, aunt, and uncle love you no matter what. And you would be embarrassed to give them this? Why? I curse a lot in text messaging. Yeah, content's not so good. What are you doing then? What are you doing? Future. Anybody know where they want to go to college? Or what they want to do after college? Anyone? Or after high school? Anyone know? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Anyone know? Where do you want to go?
Either a dancer or get a master's
Sure.
degree.
Great.
Columbia to be a surgeon.
Excellent.
I want to go to NYU or Michigan Research.
Great.
I want to go to law school and be a lawyer.
Awesome.
NYU.
Perfect. Okay.
I want to get a master's degree and become a lawyer.
Great. Excellent.
I want to go to
Good.
MIT for computer science.
Okay. Good. Great. I teach at St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia. I teach at Villanova University. Your future depends on what you do right now. Who can describe what a meme is? What's a meme? Some teachers in here that don't really understand what a meme is. Who can give me a definition and explain what a meme is? Yeah, when I take a photo, it's an innocent photo, and then I put words on it, it gives it a kind of different context maybe. Some memes are funny, some memes are offensive, some memes are not funny. Imagine getting into the colleges that you all just mentioned right now. Graduate high school, get your acceptance letter, you're in, graduate, family has a party for you, and it's summertime. And then Harvard sends you a letter going, you're out, because you posted an offensive meme on your social media pages that they didn't like. Kicked you out before you even started. That happened to 10 freshmen. What you do now can affect your future. What you think is funny, somebody else may think is offensive. Every college has a social media coordinator that all they do is look at your social media. When you apply to their college, you have to give them your handles. And if you lie and don't give it to them, you're out. You can have a private page. They will ask to see your private page. You can say no, they're moving on to the next person because you have something to hide. You can be private. They want to see it before you go in. Because if you offend somebody or do something that goes against what they believe, they can kick you out. High schools are doing this too for sports teams, musicals, theater, academic scholarships. They want to see who the person that you really are. Look at Duke. Duke says your social media pages say a lot about your discipline, your character, and your common sense. Penn State They were looking for some athletes. Prospect was really good. They were going to offer him a scholarship. Looked at their social media. They went on to the next person. If you think what you're doing today doesn't affect your future, you're highly mistaken. And you can say, Mr. Sanfran, I'm private. If you have one friend, you're not private. Because that one friend can share something with somebody else, can share something with somebody else, can share something with somebody else. I live right near Villanova University. Anybody follows college basketball? It's a pretty good basketball team. They won 3 national championship titles for a little small Catholic school. Villanova is not very big. Dante DiVincenzo was a person just like all of you. He went to a Catholic school in Wilmington, Delaware, just like this. He went to a Catholic high school in Wilmington, Delaware, just like you have in Miami. And he went to a Catholic university in Villanova. His family is all Catholic, just like most of you in this room. Want to play basketball for Villanova. Played basketball all his life. In CYO, in high school, and in college. He was the 6th man on the team, but injuries, things happened. He got to start for Villanova University. He got into the national championship game and had the game of his life and won the national championship for Villanova University. He was the MVP of that year. He was going into the NBA after that year. He's like, you know what, I want to continue my career. Okay. 10 minutes after winning the championship game, his Twitter account from grade school and high school was found by people that just Googled him because he's on national TV. People wanted to know who he was. So people Googled him and kept Googling and digging and digging and digging. And they found his Twitter account from 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. Because remember, he graduated in 2015 from Villanova. So these are from 2011, 13, 11, and 12. There he is cutting down the nets on a national stage. And lawyers from Villanova and the PR director came out, pulled him off the floor, and showed him his Twitter account. And he goes, oh my gosh, that's my Twitter. I don't use that. I don't have that anymore. That's from grade school and high school. So instead of celebrating with his team, he had to go in a room, write an apology, and then go on national television to apologize for something he did, sitting in a seat just like you are right now. He went to the draft. He got selected by the Milwaukee Bucks. But he didn't go as high as he should have. Teams passed on him. Passed. He lost about $5 to $7 million in salary because something he did in grade school. Think about that. One post that you do right now can affect your future. One TikTok video, one meme, one group text can affect your future. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to delete it.
Camacho, come back to Camacho.
Screenshot it. Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. Keep everything for 9 months. 9 months. Every snap that you send, they can give back right now to me if I asked for it for 9 months. 9 months. Every story I can get back that you've done in 9 months. If you do something wrong on Snapchat. So if I call the police right now and say there's a case against so-and-so and I have proof, they will give me everything. Everything that you've done. Nothing goes away. Instagram does the same thing. And TikTok does the same thing. You have to be proud of what you do online at all times. All times. You can make mistakes. I'm not saying you can't make mistakes. But you need to fix the mistakes quickly. If you sit on something, I don't want to tell my parents they're going to get mad. They're going to take my phone away. I'm just going to delete this. It's harder and harder to fix the longer and longer it stays on. Examples of this all the time. This softball, Little League, World Series. They were ready to go on television and play for the National Little League title. And their entire team was disqualified because a teammate posted something on social media that the league found offensive. The entire team was punished. And you can say, well, why the entire team was punished? You're part of a team. It's not an individual sport. And a lot of coaches are taking that approach now. If one person does it, everyone's punished because you're part of the team. You have to self-police each other. Yeah, we're going to kick that one person out. Nope. You represent the team. The whole team is disqualified. They're gone. Fake news. Not talking about fake news here out there. Most of you post online on stuff you hear third hand. Let's say we look out the window right there and we think of fights going on. There's a lot of commotion, right? And somebody walks in and goes, I think there's a fight out there. And you immediately text your mom or dad, there's a fight at school. And they all call the main office, is there a fight at school? I'm gonna come get my kid. Meanwhile, the next group comes in and goes, no, they were just dancing. You already texted everybody that there was a fight at school. You guys, girls, have to remember, if you're not hearing it firsthand, don't post it. That's how rumors get started. That's how fake news gets started. You have to verify what you post. Your words have meanings and power that spread over everywhere today. When you post something, you got to make sure it's factual or it's your opinion, not hearing it from somebody else, not hearing it third hand, verifying what you're posting is true or what you believe is your opinion. Fake profiles is stealing. Oh, let's make a fake profile about this kid. Let's make a profile about this teacher. This is funny. You're stealing their identity and you're breaking a commandment. Cyberbullying and inappropriate pictures. You are old enough for this conversation. There's a difference between a mean person and a bully. Some people are just mean. They're just mean. You talk to them, they're mean, you move on. A bully, cyberbully, is a person that seeks out that person and constantly goes after them. I'm going to find this person to be mean to them. Not when I talk to this person, they're mean. They're just mean. Go away. But I'm going to continually go after that. That's a bully. Inappropriate pictures. You are not allowed to possess naked pictures of anyone on your phone, including of yourself. Ever. It goes against church teaching, and it goes against the law. If you are in possession of any pictures, it's called sexting, and it's also called child pornography. You can't prevent a text message from coming to you. Okay, I get that. You can't prevent a direct message on TikTok, or Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever. Someone may send you one of these pictures. You have to report it to an adult, and they have to report it to the police. Period. No questions asked. Here's the reason why. If I get a picture that's inappropriate, and I don't report it to the police, and that same picture was sent to Mr. Murphy, who's standing right back there, and he gets it, and he reports it to the police. The police can see every IP address that that picture was sent to. Every device has an IP address, a unique number that's connected to these devices, that every time you send a text message, an Instagram, you go on a website, they're all, that IP address is invisible. The tech people like me can go into the programming and see, oh, here's the IP address that's connected to that. When he reports it to the police and they pull all the cell phones that had an IP address, they're gonna see I received that picture and didn't report it. I was in possession of child pornography. It's a crime. I know some of you have received those pictures. Willingly or not, you need to report it to a parent and let them handle it. If you don't, your phone can get confiscated. You can be on a list now that you received pornography. It's not right. If you take a picture of yourself and not send it and it's on your phone, that's still illegal. Respect your body. Don't go down that road. The hardest part of my job is showing a parent a picture of their child on a device because they were being silly, or I just want my boyfriend or girlfriend. I didn't think they would send it. I didn't think they would do this. Don't ever do it. Anonymous users. Some of you think being anonymous, going on certain sites, is better. Go back to family. You can't use your family name in something, don't be on it. Don't be on anonymous sites. Get off. There's no reason to. You can't use your name, you shouldn't be on it. Don't hide behind being anonymous. Now, I don't mind you making different screen names for games so people don't know who you are, but you're still connected through a profile. I'm talking about seriously anonymous sites that are just, you can go on and just do things that no one knows who you are. IP address is always connected to it. We can always find out who you are. How do you use social media? How do you use it? It's your resume. You're making a footprint of your entire life on social media, on text messaging, on YouTube, on things you search. Everything is being set. How do you want people to see you is your resume. If I were to get to know you right now, talk to you for about a half an hour, would I see that same person online, or would I see someone totally different on who I got to know sitting in this room? And what are you posting? Post your highlights. Post things about other people. Colleges and businesses want to see a well-rounded social media. They don't want to see me. Me. I'm great. Me. No. They want to see pictures of your dog. They want to see pictures of your family. They want to see pictures of your friends doing awesome things. Well-rounded, not just, I'm awesome, you stink. I said this before. If you have one friend and you're private, you're not private. You're private to the public. That one person can share it with whoever they want. It's good to be private, but it's a false statement because anybody can do anything with your content. Share what makes you, your life balance. Most of you have no idea that you have to shut this phone off 30 minutes before you go to sleep at night to get the proper amount of sleep. Your brain needs that time, the ambient light and the content of this device. When you fall asleep with this device, your brain is still going for at least 2 hours if you don't shut down a half an hour before you go to sleep. See, you go to sleep, you wake up, you're still tired, but I got my 8 hours sleep. Your brain did not. Your brain keeps going because you fell asleep with that light and that content. You need that half an hour of just shutting down, putting it down, get your mind at rest, Your brain gets the proper amount of sleep and rest. If you can't do without your device for a half an hour during the day, you need to do that. I know all of you give up your devices when you come into school. And as soon as you get that, I got Snapchat, I got my streaks to go. I got to take care of my foot. I got to send everybody a picture of my foot so I don't break the streak, right? All right, I'm caught up. It's fine. But don't get obsessed with it. If you can't put this down for half an hour and just do something without it, you're too dependent on the device. You should be able to take a break from it at all times. Yeah, it's very important. Yes, I get it. It's your communication, connected. But to eat dinner with your family, get disconnected for a half hour. Something. Have that balance. Go back to the grandmother and grandfather and aunt and uncle conversation. If they would see you differently on this device, imagine what a coach would see about you. Imagine what a teacher would see about you. Imagine what a summer employer would see about you. You're being judged on this instead of this. You always will be judged on this and have this back up on who you are. Don't let this define who you are. Goes back to the 4X. Many of you are just staring at me going, I have a lot of work to do. Most of you in this room, you're fine. Most of you are doing exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are a little scared. Others, you don't care. You're like, I'm not listening to him. It's not going to happen. Whatever you want to think. Like I said in the beginning, I'm giving you facts. I do this for a living. I have 3 children. I have 2 seniors in high school and a sophomore. They made mistakes. My 2 seniors are going to college. Their social media, pass the test. They have friends, not so much. When I say I'm a professor, I also taught. I was an assistant principal at high school. I was a director of technology for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. I've worked in public schools. See it every day. Some of you have things on your phone that are not appropriate. Get it off. This is your chance. Others, keep doing what you're doing. Some of you have YouTube channels that are incredible. Some of you have so much talent. Keep doing it. Others have YouTube channels that are atrocious. That goes against nothing that we believe in being Catholic. Rethink what you're doing. I know some TikTokers out here who make some great content, funny content, appropriate content. There's others you're borderline. You're being funny, but you're being offensive. Yeah, some people like it, some people don't. You're not old enough in your career to be in that middle. Because someone's going to judge you the wrong way. Teachers do not have to contribute, but I always give an opportunity for teachers to give examples of either students they've had, experiences your own life, technology stories that you've heard, anything to share with the group from a teacher standpoint.
I went to LaSalle High School, you guys know it. When I was there, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Snapchat, we didn't have Facebook. I know none of you guys have that because that's old news. But our Facebook, we were required by the school. If the school found out we had a Facebook and we didn't have our principal added as a friend, we would automatically be expelled. The first day of school, you go and they check your phone and they go, there's your Facebook, add me, add me, add me. And still to this day, I have my principal from LaSalle on my Facebook. Do I use my Facebook? No. Would I ever post something bad on my Facebook? No. But even till this day, that I'm now employed through Archdiocese of Miami, I have my principal from my high school on my Facebook. And so he's not lying. Schools will require you to have your social media and add them. I have other schools who follow me too. But you guys need to make sure that you're posting things that represent you and not others. So it is true, and people did get expelled in my school. People got suspended for things they posted. But that's because the school was on top of it and was watching your social media at all times. Guys, you're going into high school now, and it's very serious what he's saying. Like, you guys don't think so? You guys are like, oh yeah, sure. But it's happened to a lot of schools. You guys know about what just happened in Belen and other schools. Listen, social media is very, very important for you to keep it safe. Okay?
And the issue with the school, one post can kill a school's relationships, enrollment. I mean, it can close schools with people. That's why they're so on top of, because it's their image. Look at that school. Wow. They're in their LaSalle sweaters doing A, B, and C. Down the throat.
What I just want to share is that we also as teachers abide by that. So if we as teachers post something that is completely inappropriate, we will be expelled. We will be fired, and our files we will not be able to get a job anywhere else. So as a teacher, I always are mindful of what I do. Where am I going? Because people can take pictures of you at any time. I have many stories of what I've seen, and the same thing that you said, you might need to report it. Unfortunately, sometimes if we're serious about who we are and we see something wrong, we have to go to the principal or Father Luis. I have had the few times that I have done it, but even myself, I don't use any of those apps, of course, and as a grandmother, they know that I'm completely all for that, but I do Facebook. And I did Facebook for some time, but it's incredible how the stories that I posted 20 years ago, or 15 maybe, is coming back to me. So it's incredible how that story is there. And if you say, I wanted to go to Marco Island for the weekend, oh my God, you will be attacked by all these possibilities and things. So it's very serious. I consider it very serious. And with my daughters, I have 2 daughters, I have grandchildren, but I remember one occasion when it wasn't Facebook, it was, what's the other one?
Instagram?
No, it was before
MySpace?
Facebook.
MySpace.
My daughter, my oldest was 32 right now. She was in 7th grade, I think, or 6th grade. And they had started doing that. And some of those girls posted pictures in bikinis. Immediately, the principal came and said, you need to take that out.
Yes.
Because that will be there forever. And it's true.
Never goes away.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll share a story. So I went to high school in LaSalle too not at the same time, but LaSalle. And it's true, you have to add the principal on your Facebook. But another person that is even more important to add is the Dean of Discipline. And he's still there, Dr. Shane, great man, loves hockey, he bonded. But either way, after a football game, one of my classmates, they went out and had a whole celebration, and they had posted a few photos. I don't know what it was or anything. I just remember that Monday coming back, that Dr. Shane called in about 20 or so students. And out of those 20, 11 of them were expelled. So it really matters. And like I said, I don't know the whole content, but he would go through everything. And he would tell us, like, if you post something stupid, I'm going to know. And I'm like, yes, I was like, so it does really matter what you put on your profile.
Again, if you listen to the stories, it's how you use it. That's all this is. It's how you use it in a positive way. That's all you have to do. It's very simple to be positive and great, fun, and enjoy social media. It's when you go too far that it becomes the problem. Yes?
It was like a story that happened on the website.
appropriate? Okay.
But one time, like, this random people, like, text us, we didn't know who it was, and they had some pictures, I'm not gonna say what, different people,
Yep.
probably knew, and then we, like, advised them, because, like, they have the pictures, like, they know who they are.
Yep.
And they said that we know, like, they know where we live, or whatever, and that, like, they would send us these pictures, and we were like, no. So then, we were gonna, like, file a report or something, I don't know. And then mom was like, wait, no, that was these kids. And then, we were like, well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to watch, and especially get random, you don't know the numbers, you get pictures, you get whatever. Best thing to do is tell an adult, or if you think you know somebody, FaceTime that person to make sure it's them. Because if you have their number, you're like, I really think it's Mr. Murphy. I'm gonna FaceTime Mr. Murphy. I know him. Did you send me this? No? All right, Mom. And then follow up. Sometimes you have to do that research to make sure the positives are there. I want you to discuss with each other one thing you learned today. Go, talk to each other.
Never before studying.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay. Start.
Where's Martina?
One thing you learned today.
Martina.
Okay.
Yeah, I think about
About repost this group. Repost 20 years, it can affect what you do. Go ahead.
You have to think before you post.
Think before you post. This group.
Don't post with pictures of yourself, like don't post
Inappropriate pictures.
inappropriate pictures.
Like I said in the beginning, most of you are doing the right thing. There's just some of you that are going down a bad path with social media and technology. Your principal spends more time dealing with group text outside of school than she does worrying about what you're doing inside of school. She should be focusing on your faith and your future instead of what you're doing on social media and text messaging. We need to rethink of how we're using Just because you can't see the person doesn't mean it's not affecting everybody. When you text those things, 9 out of 10 times, it's in her office. Use it wisely. Summer's coming up. Got 8th graders, 7th graders, 6th graders. We got a lot of free time, a lot of technology time. Hopefully you refocus and do what God wants you to do. Download that app, click to pray. Think about how you treat people. Don't take everything online so serious. Have fun. Do content. But be positive. Grandmother, grandfather looking, how would they feel? Faith, family, future, and friends. Every time you do something online. Teachers, thank you for your time. Students, thank you for listening. Hopefully it helped. Teachers, if you have any questions, I'll send you my email address. So if there's more discussion in class, things come up, you want to email me, most welcome to. All right. Boys and girls, thank you. Teachers, thank you. Mr. Murphy, thanks for having me.